welcome to the channel, Farmer with Nick, for a special episode here on Alma, Missouri. So thank you so much for joining me here, and I am just driving out to this farm expansion tour, and excited to show you everything. So I've been working on many different layouts and versions of this, but I finally kind of came to like, this is what I want to do kind of mode. And I'm just going to pull off to the side here. I want to show you, before I reveal everything here, where I'm at. So if you're playing on the Alma map, the starting farm is right here, which I'm finally at. And I didn't choose to start on this. I chose to start on the secondary farm over here and do my dairy operation. And if you've been watching all the episodes, I've really kind of started to expand and grow in this area, and I really am enjoying it. So if I just kind of come here and just hop in the build mode, you can see my farm, my layout. I added like a nice big pen up here in this corner, added a nice pen that kind of loops all the way around and extended this to that main milking barn. Added a little calf hut here, added a couple extra barns, kept the main barn, kept the main house. Added a silo, added like this extra little drive from FS22 and the real farm on Google Maps if you look it up. But as I'm starting to expand here, and I've gotten many comments asking about when and if I was going to expand to that other farm. And I said soon, like I want to kind of get going on here. Now, as I'm expanding here and kind of reaching out to these other fields, you can see I've been working on baling in the last episode. Just planted this field over here, planted this field up here. I did not purchase this large field. I do not have the money. But I have expanded north of my farm into these two fields. So like I've kind of been pushing my reach on this farm, and as I'm getting more equipment, and I still have room in this pole barn, but if I'm getting more large equipment, I wanted to really expand and not just add on to this farm. I just didn't want to add like more buildings right here, add another one right here over the bales. So I wanted to really kind of branch out from what I was doing. So with that being said, the big reveal here, I still had this purchased. I had like field 1, purchased from before when I did my first build, and my idea was to always keep my option open to actually come back over here. And this was not going to be my main farm. It's more or less a secondary farm with the intent of, keeping a lot of larger equipment over here now. And then I think it's going to be really cool as I get to, possibly get to these other fields, even if it's, just for a season or two, we'll see. But I can get to these other fields with this secondary farm being my kind of base of operations over here on the map. And then who knows, maybe I'll buy the pig farm on the northern part, but we'll just kind of see where this series goes. So you never know, but I finally did an expansion and a build. So like I said, as I'm kind of driving around, some of the things you might be surprised on, some you might not be, but I was, playing around with taking more of the roads out that were already here. I did that, but then kind of like the idea of keeping those roads in that were already here as well, just for the fact of, it's not going to be like a homestead here. It's going to be more of an operation, and this operation, is going to be for large equipment here on this side of the map. And as I'm driving around, you can kind of see some buildings that stayed the same and some that did not. Alright, so I'm just kind of looping back here by the cow barn, and then kind of just do another turn around that back area. So once I kind of drive through here, I'll kind of show you what I did, and see like a little pond off to the side. You might notice the large silos are gone. They were okay, but I'm not going to be loading that much up in there. I'll probably end up selling it before that would even happen. And I'll kind of loop back around here and kind of see what I've been working on and come up this way. Alright, so we'll check out the barns here in a sec. So let me hop into the build mode just to show you everything, and then do a little flyover now that I did a drive. So in many different layouts, I took out the animals because I'm not really going to do animals over here anyways, but then in the end, I just like how it looked. The layout really fits this farm, so I just ended up keeping it. Now I might use this cattle barn. Right now I'm not, but I might. I am technically using this sheep barn, and I have been profiting, as you can see, off of the sheep and our goats. I think there's a couple goats in there. And honestly, I haven't even touched that barn at all. I haven't done anything. They have been just living off of the meadow grass. And as my little experiment has been working, it has been producing without me doing anything. And then the horse barn, this is another one I kind of, couldn't decide, and I really didn't, have anything else in mind. And I had enough other large sheds and stuff, so I actually kept that. And then you can see in the middle here, I placed a large pond, and mainly for decoration, but it kind of helps fill up this area as well. So I like the layout of this. I didn't put a fence, nothing around it, just some decorations, plants, little pond, algae, rocks. That's about it. And then that large silo I took out. I'm not going to use that much, so I did put in this AGI one, and then I did put an extension on it just in case, but I don't even know if I'll use that much in it. And then coming off of the main drive, you'll notice there's a shed here right away, and that's going to be, where I'd store my side-by-side or my smaller things they would need on this side of the map. And then coming straight ahead, thinking about FS22, how there was that shed here, I put one back, and this is really a nice barn. I like this one a lot. I used it on my Frankenmuth map, so you might recognize it from that build. And then over here, I put another cold storage shed, followed by the Alma. I think it's the one that's on the pig farm, if I'm not mistaken. So I put that one over here, and then another large warehouse shop area, a lot of bays and storage in there. And then I did put a big bale shed here for everything, and then have some kind of little stations here, buying stations, fuel. And then around here, I did take out the shed that was there, put in a more, I don't know, kind of workshop type shed, and I like this mod, so that was my thinking, to put in a little, less storage, I guess. The other one was much larger, but then I still have 3 bays here, have, some overhang, and then my big operations would be out of these 2 barns. So let me just click on these just to show you what they are. So this is a metal medium shed. This is the 3 Stars garage. And this is the metal garage with workshop. This is the American Midwest maintenance shop. And this is just called Old Barn, but I'm pretty sure it's on this Alma pack. And then, like I said, this is a straw storage. And then this is the flat bin dryer. And I like this, how it's tucked over here in between the straw and horses. And then, like I said, I just left all the animals, even though I had some versions where I kind of took these out. You know, I left the slurry pit down there, but yeah, I kind of changed this around. But I mean, you could do what you want to as well. You would not have to copy me. But just to show you the insides of these, so you have a lot of room in here. This one's really cool because it does have a little loft up there. Not that I've used it, but yeah, then you have little racks here for your production stuff, some more shelving for production, so you could really utilize this. I feel like I had this on one of my builds, and I put things in there, but never utilized this to its full potential. So I thought, well, why not? Give it another shot, right? Alright, let's go to the other one then. So I toyed around with the idea of not having a shed over here, but in the end, I did like having this extra storage over here. So, pretty spacious. You can get like a little, I don't know if this is a workshop trigger. I'm assuming it is, because I don't have the triggers on right now. But yeah, I like this garage a lot. Alright. So then we have our cattle up here. Kind of worked and tried to get the textures all the same, as you can see. Kind of left some of the gravel around here just to kind of blend it in a little more, make it a little less, you know, jarring as I put in these buildings in. So you can cut the gravel around here a little bit, maybe park around side. Alright, and then when we come up to this one, alright, so in here, there it goes. You have quite a bit of room in here. So just a nice open cold storage. Now that one kind of reminds me of the ones that were already here. But I was just trying to fit this little spot. There was a chicken coop here earlier, and I wasn't going to have chickens on this playthrough series. Just some old debris right there, tucked away. And then coming up here is a nice little barn. Kind of tucks in nicely. You have the side door. You have this front one as well. And you can get quite a bit in here. So I like this one a lot. I've used it in FS22. Some of my other builds, actually, some of my other playing videos, I like that one. And then we have this large one. And there's a lot of storage, a lot of room in this pole barn. So like I said, this one and then the other one will be your main ones. So a lot of room in here. I like how it has the extra like connect through and stuff, and then you can get outside from here as well. It's just really nice. Really great layout. I mean, multiple doors to get around, in and out. And I'm pretty sure I used this on, if you check out the build that I did, it was a large grain farm only, so no cattle on that one, no animals at all. I did put this barn in there. And then I like this, how it has some smaller little bays in here. And then you could fill these up as well. So, really nice layout. Alright, and let's go check out the other one really quick. So I have not put any equipment in here. Took out a hefty loan, as you can imagine. But I had this property already. It was just the fact that I was building on it. And then obviously, I don't know about you, but with me, nothing's ever set in stone. So if I'm building something, you know, if I don't like it, I'm just gonna take it out and redo it. So there you go. There's some money that I have to fix later on. But yeah, you can easily go into debt with doing all that. Alright, so a lot of storage in here. And then I like how it has the connecting passage through the back. And then you have those side garage doors. So a lot of room in this one as well. Almost like too much room. But if you're doing a Own the Map challenge, or you're trying to buy every field and eventually just, you know, farm the whole map, which I think is really cool and very neat to do. I have not done that personally. I mean, I think it'd be fun just to give yourself a slew of money, buy all the farms, and then just go for it, and then see if you can farm the whole, you know, map from the get-go, and then just keep it going too. And then maybe you would keep your time speed up too. That would be a real challenge. I mean, in real time, that would be a lot to keep it going. You know, maybe put it on like 5 times speed and do a Own the Map challenge like that. So over here, I had like a little buying station back there. Then here's our silos, and then that loops around the pond here up to the sheep and the cattle. And then, like I said, I have been profiting off of the sheep. For here, though, I don't own this side field. I do own this back field. And this one I kept with the starting farm. So I have to come in here and work in this field pretty soon. But then, it's kind of nice. I can, like, if I am using my equipment, I can just keep it over on this side of the map, get to that backfield, and then if I need it again, take it back to my original farm. So my intent is to still keep my series on the original build. That's what I want to do. But it's kind of nice to expand out this way and look at the possibilities. You know, another field that I really want to purchase is actually the one right across the road. I like that field as well. So that is my plan as I kind of expand here on Alma, and I'll kind of just see where the series takes me from there. You know, nothing fancy, just wanted to bring you along for this special episode here on Alma, Missouri. So let me do one last little flyover again, and you can kind of see my layout. If you're on console, you can kind of check it out, copy it, or kind of tweak it, especially if you don't want to do the animals, which I completely understand, especially not doing horses or maybe cattle. So, but yeah, it's not like a homestead per se. It's more of a kind of like a holding zone of all my other equipment. But yeah, definitely this is my secondary farm here now, and plenty of room, probably more than what I need. But yeah, there you go. So pretty cool, and I'm excited to kind of start working on all of this and start bringing some equipment over, and especially with potentially buying some of those other fields. So I am actually going to get going. I'm going to move this tractor here. So if you're watching the last the last Alma video, I had double balers out here, but I finished this up, and I have some square, have some round, so I might kind of push forward into the next month here, but I'll kind of let you guys go there. So thank you so much for joining me here on Alma. If you're new to the channel and just kind of finding my video based off of this one, I'd love to have you tag along and watch this playthrough series, watch through some others, and check out my other farm builds on FS25. Let me know what you think, and hopefully you like what you see and want to join the farming ethnic community. I'd love to have you tag along. So I'll let you guys go there, and thank you so much for joining me here on Alma. And as you can see, look at this, all this equipment. Like, I could go park it, but I have equipment in there parked, so this is a perfect example of why I would start to expand and bring some of this stuff over to the other farm, especially if I'm doing some hay work and some other harvesting over there. So absolutely, it's a good time to kind of cut in and go that way with the operation a little bit. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you all on the next one. Have a good one. Take care.